let's go on the next step of it. Now that we've gotten our kombucha, okay, we got our kombucha bottled, and now we're going to go back to this culture here, and we've reserved. I left a little bit extra tea in there. There's nothing wrong with leaving more tea in there. The quicker you're going to get a head start on the next batch, because it's just that much more loaded with culture. And to this, we're going to add our tea. When you this is just black tea and sugar. For this size, we've used 24 cups of water. We go by the recipe we got from Kombucha.com. There's all different recipes in there. The basic formula is to a gallon of tea, you want to use 5 tea bags and black or green. But if you do green, they suggest for some reason you throw in 1 black in there. That helps because that helps stabilize it. For some reason, the kombucha seems to not do well with the decaffeinated teas. I don't know if it's a process of the decaffeination process that harms it, but you definitely want to just go with caffeination. And during the fermentation process, all that's going to be destroyed. So there's going to be very little to no caffeine left in the finished tea. So if you have issues with caffeine, the tea's not going to bother you at all. And what you do is you'll boil the water, preferably in a non-reactive pot. We're using this pot here that has a glass enamel coating. And that's also to reduce any toxins from going from cookware into your tea that you're going to be feeding your kombucha. And so we do 24 cups of water and 10 tea bags and 2 cups of sugar to get enough to feed our 2-gallon monster here. And you want to brew it up till it's boiling. You want to boil it till it's boiling. Add in your sugar, dissolve it. Let it boil for another 10 minutes, self-sterilize the base of it, and then once that's done and the sugar's all dissolved, then you add in your tea bags, let it brew for about 5 minutes, stir it, remove the tea bags, and then just let it cool overnight. You want to get it to the same temperature as your kombucha's tea that it's got going on. So storing that, once it's getting to a cool down stage, you're ready to go with it. And now we're just going to take this. Some people recommend to clean out the container, but we, in between cultures, but we figure it's got all the good bacteria and stuff in there, and it's maintaining itself. I figure that's only going to help it. Every once in a while, if there's a real buildup of the little stringy cultures in the bottom, we'll dump it out, rinse it out with the fresh tea, and then just make sure we got enough of the finished product to re-inoculate it. And now we're just going to pour this in here.
So that's a new tea you just brewed?
Yeah, I brewed this last night, so I gave it enough time to cool down, so it doesn't kill or shock the mushrooms. So even if it's warm, you want to just try and make sure you get it to room temperature. Kind of same principles as keeping a goldfish or something. And now I'm going to add in that the tea with the cultures. Ooh, it's hissing at me.
Is that a good sign?
Doesn't like being manhandled, I guess.
Now, when you boil the teas, do you have the culture in it?
No.
Or no, it's just plain tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just going to boil the black tea and the sugar and water, and then you're going to save the tea with active cultures for re-inoculating it.
Okay.
Do you normally wear the gloves at home?
Yeah. I've considered not doing it, but I was just like, better safe than sorry. A lot of people, even the author of this book, occasionally she'll handle hers without gloves, but, and there's other, like I said, there's other precautions as far as, some people say scrub out the bowl in between each use. That I don't do. I haven't noticed any problems with it yet. But, and that's pretty much it. Once you got it to that stage, then your tea's ready to produce another batch, and we'll let it go for another, 10 to 14 days.
So the mother will sink, and then the next culture will form on top.
Yep, the new culture will form right on this thin layer of liquid on top of it, and then the mother will be below it. And that's what's cool about this process too, is you'll at the end of each batch, you get another culture that you can gift to a friend who wants to get into doing this, and or use it for gardening or whatever.
So how does the evolution start? If you don't know somebody that has it, how did you create that mother?
Well, I actually purchased it from a company online. It's called getkombucha.com, where you can get the culture. And there's also another one, the author of this book, she has a company called Laurel Farms, when they also produce and sell cultures, and they'll send it to you in the mail in like a Ziploc bag with a little bit of the finished tea already in it to get your culture started, and it looks pretty wacky when it comes in the mail. I was all excited when it got
How
there.
expensive are they?
Ours was, I think it was like 25.
Really?
Yeah, it was like $25. Came like 30 with shipping and handling. So, you know, it's not too bad to get started, especially considering the benefits. Like once you got your culture going, you can make, you know, 2 gallons at a time for like pennies compared to what you pay for the pre-bottled stuff.
So did you say that if the mother starts looking not good, you can keep the offspring as the
Yeah.
base?
Oh yeah, you can totally, you can replace it. You can go either or. And you-
Anytime.
Huh?
Anytime you can do that?
Any time that your batch is done and you wanna, you know, and then you'll be left with 2.
So if you took the mother out, not to split hairs on this, I'm
No.
sorry, but if you took the mother out and you left the offspring in,
Mhm.
at what point would it stop growing and realizing it's not the offspring anymore, and now it's the mother, so that a new one can grow? Does that make sense?
That is a good question. The mother is just like a term that a lot of people have given to it. It's kind of like an affectionate term, you know, kind of anthropomorphizing it. But because it's like just this symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, the way it reproduces is that it doesn't have like a set identity. It will just keep reproducing another one, like it will just multiply, like, you know, cell division or something like that every so amount. So if like you take the daughter and put it in another container and start another batch, at the end of that batch, they'll both have produced a new one. When you go to make your second
And the
batch,
batch
you'll end
was
up
like
with
2 weeks, you said? The
about
batch
2
cycle?
weeks. Yeah. You do 10 to 14 days. You can let it run longer. Like, you know, Frank enjoyed this one, and I've let it go for about 3 weeks now.
Wow.
So you can feel it. You know, I don't really eat a lot of, you know, you can feel those friendly probiotics in my stomach right now. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Awesome.
how long does it take for the whole digestive system? How many bottles do you have to drink, or feel the medicinal effects, kind of? Yeah.
I've noticed benefits. Like when I first tried kombucha, was the you know, the bottled stuff,
Right.
and I've. Oh, you want to try some? Awesome. You game it. I experienced benefits from it from the first bottle I drank of it.
Okay.
You're welcome, man.